Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to E3 2013. We're here on the final day, and what a treat. We have got a game that's got a ton of history. I go back, way back as a gamer, and I remember downloading this original game from a BBS, probably took 2 hours. Then I got the demo and basically fell in love overnight. But now BJ is back. We've got Wolfenstein, The New Order, and I'm here with Andreas Oyefors. Thank you very much for joining us, the senior gameplay designer over at Machine Games. And what an exciting time. People have been asking more Wolfenstein, and now we've got something new. You guys are showing quite a bit off here at E3.
Yeah, so we have a presentation showing one level, and then we have some other levels that people can come and play. So yeah, it's been really cool. People seem to really enjoy it.
One of the things, I mean, if people have seen the trailers, have seen any of the teaser footage, we see a lot of technology that we hadn't seen yet or before in Wolfenstein games. I know that's one thing I'm definitely looking forward to. But what are we going to see that's familiar in the Wolfenstein universe from some of the other games, and then what are we going to see that's going to be new?
So we call it a story-driven first-person action adventure, and it's set in the 1960s in an alternate history setting where the Nazis won World War II, so they've taken over the world and created a global empire. So what will be familiar is the setting, of course, the Wolfenstein-esque setting, and we've kind of taken it much further. We jumped into the 1960s, and we like to think of it as resting on two pillars. We have the intense immersive action of the old Wolfenstein games, and especially Wolfenstein 3D, which is really our favorite. And it also have the adventure part, which will take the player around the world, letting him kind of explore the realities of what it means to be in this Nazi-dominated world.
Which is actually, I mean, much different than some of the other games that we've seen in the past, Wolfenstein games, where it's been, not necessarily linear, but, not like what you're explaining right now.
Right, but so what we try to do is to go back and see what not so much what we see Wolfenstein 3D being today, but what we experienced it being when we played it 20 years ago. And we try to kind of capture that feeling, that sensation of being in that world for the first time, and trying to bring it into a 2013 game. So we kind of looked at old school game design and new school game design, and we think that some aspects, some design principles of old were left behind that shouldn't be left behind. So we bring those back and we marry it with the new.
Okay. So is this the beginning of the game? Can you kind of like set up the demo? What exactly are we seeing?
So what we're seeing here is a third into the game. This is London. And London is, of course, taken by the Nazis a long time ago when this is happening. So BJ Blazkowicz, the old hero from the previous games, are now infiltrating a Nazi research facility to steal some of their advanced tech, some new stealth helicopters, and the retro sci-fi technology of the game, where the Nazis got it from, how they won the war. That's one of the mysteries of the story that you have to find out.
So we're seeing some new stuff already, as we saw the little wire cutter there. Right. That's a cool little
So that's, we call it the Panzerhund. It's one of the ideas we got from toying around with the retro sci-fi idea. Retro sci-fi for us means looking at the 1960s and kind of thinking of what were the 1960s idea of future technology. So, you have the giant strange robots, you have the laser weapons, space age stuff like that.
I mean, that had to have been a lot of fun for you guys, but at the same time, I mean, a little limiting, right? Because you do still have to work within the confines of that time period. You're in an alternate universe, which is cool because you can craft whatever. But do you how far does the weaponry go? Are we going to see some? Are we going to see some crazy technology?
You're going to get some really powerful weaponry. I think you're going to see some of it later in this demonstration as well. Both the Wolfenstein setting and the alternate history idea gives us a lot of freedom to be creative. We've had a lot of fun just exploring, what this setting could be. And it's also kind of a frightening thought to imagine what would have happened if the Nazis had won the war.
What will we see still a lot of the traditional weapons, the MP40, the Thompson, which I remember from Return to Castle Wolfenstein many times. What do you?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of the more traditional weapons.
Okay.
You have an assault rifle here, you have the traditional German pistols. So you have a bunch of weapons like that, but I think what we've had the most fun with is the retro sci-fi weaponry, like the automatic shotguns and the laser sniper rifles and the laser miniguns and things like that. So that's been a lot of fun. And this is also a game where you don't just have two weapons, you have all the weapons you find, basically. So you can carry all of them with you, when you can also dual wield most weapons.
Oh,
so dual wielding shotguns, dual wielding automatic shotguns. That's fun.
Is that something that you earn down the line, or is that something you can do right out of the gate?
Well, you can't do it immediately, but pretty quickly, yeah.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
It is.
I'm okay with that. Can you tell me and talk to me a little bit more about what you're saying in terms of having something story-driven, but at the same time giving the character the ability to explore the world?
So we call it an action adventure, right? So we have the action part, which is intense, immersive action, and then we have the adventure section, and the adventure also contains what we call story moments. And the story moments give us time to focus more on the characters and the story. The characters are very important for us in this game. BJ Blazkowicz, the hero, is one example. He's been in a coma for 14 years, and he is waking up now, and he's realizing that everything he knew about the world is gone. His country is lost, democracy is dead, the Nazis have taken over and created a global Nazi empire. The easy answers he had, he was a soldier in an army, but that war is lost. So he has to find his footing again and see how he can continue the fight in a war that is already lost. So that makes him a character with, we think, more depth than before.
So there's a lot of discovery, too, as that character seeing exactly what has changed. I imagine that's makes for some good storytelling.
Oh, right. So the player knows just as little as he does when the game begins, right? So it's kind of, you explore this new setting, what it means with BJ.
That's the automatic shotgun that you were talking about, by the way?
Yeah. Just wait until you get both of them. That's all.
So, the other questions that I got from some of the community before we came on the show is, Wolfenstein also became known for having this legacy in multiplayer. Return to Castle Wolfenstein eventually led to enemy territory. Is that a part of the focus in what you guys are delivering in terms of this product?
We're only doing single player, and that was a very easy decision for us, because we as a studio are very passionate about the single player experience. So we decided immediately when we wanted to do a Wolfenstein game that we're going to focus every last drop of energy that we have as a studio on making a kick-ass single-player campaign.
Okay. And here we see dual-wield assault rifles.
Yeah. As I said, you can dual-wield most weapons in the game.
Is there any other sort of technology and/or enhancements that I will get as a obviously dual wielding one of them, but any other sort of surprises, non-weaponry that might be included in the game?
So there is a weapon that you can use in other ways as well. We call it a. Oh, look at this, by the way. This is like a laser minigun, which you can actually
deploy. Is that what he did?
Well, no, they're placed, but you can you can actually take it with you afterwards. You'll see, it's super powerful. So yeah, the Lasercopter is a laser weapon that you can find upgrades to throughout the game. This is not it. It's a later weapon, and you can add those upgrades to the weapon and make it not only more powerful but also more versatile, so it becomes like a tool set of things you can do with it.
Gotcha.
So with that one you can cut through certain types of metal surfaces. So yeah, you can use it to progress through a level or find alternate routes through a level, but you can also use it in combat. So imagine being in a stealth scenario, so you stealth part some guys and you hide beneath a cover. So you can actually cut a hole through that cover and kind of shoot right through your own cover while still being in hiding. So that's really cool. You can also use it to kind of take away the covers for enemies. So imagine a soldier running and hiding behind a metal cover. So you can actually make a hole through his cover and just shoot him right through his own cover.
I like it.
So that adds like more tactical choices to the player. You can still just rush him. Guns blazing, as you usually do in a Wolfenstein game, or you can flank him, but you can also from a distance take his cover out and just leave him exposed and headshot him.
So, I mean, a lot of ways to play the game. It looks like whether you go run and gun or you try to take a more strategic and tactical approach to it, it looks fantastic. So, when does the game come out? What systems will it be for?
So it's coming out holidays this year.
Okay.
And it's coming out for PC, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4.
Awesome. So is there any other details about the game that we haven't yet mentioned here that you want to make sure to tell the audience?
So the coolest thing about the game for me is really just discovering that world and exploring the setting of the Nazi global empire. I think that's really the one key thing that I have had the most fun working with, and I hope the players will really enjoy it as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it coming out this holiday. Thanks for joining us here for more coverage of the E3 2013. We're on our final day and getting ready to wrap everything up. But we got more action coming at you. Stick with us live from Twitch. We'll be right back.